after the hour. Welcome back to the most news in the morning. Flashback, January 1985, Rio de Janeiro. At that time, I was a fresh-faced kid from Canada with a rather amusing mullet. He was a seasoned rock road warrior who had the rather dubious ability to consume lethal quantities of drugs and alcohol and somehow, miraculously, not die. 25 years later, at the age of 61, Ozzy Osbourne is still kicking it and penning it. His new autobiography, I Am Ozzy, is out, and so are our youthful secrets.
Ozzy, it's great to see you. It's been 25 years.
I can't believe this.
Here, let me play a little bit of this for you here. You had just gotten out of the Betty Ford Clinic.
There's been some interesting changes in your life recently.
No, we were both looking so young, you know.
To be a rock and roll star, you don't have to be crazy and take drugs and alcohol all the time. It's just...
That soon changed.
Fast, and I don't want to die, you know. It's just that I don't want to die.
So that was 1985.
And I still haven't died.
25 years ago, you're still alive, but you had just gotten out of the Betty Ford Clinic. You said that you hadn't completely given up everything, but it took you another 21 years to finally do it.
I've been clean and sober now for about 6.5 years.
Why did it take so long?
I needed it to survive. Until eventually, I kept chipping and chipping away. And after that interview, I must have gone into about another 15 rehabs over the years, you know.
In fact, in the book, you talk about basically just one day of substance abuse blending into the next. You write, by now I was putting so much of the stuff, talking about cocaine, up my nose that I had to smoke a bag of dope every day just to stop my heart from exploding.
Oh, yeah, I know that if I left here and started drinking booze, at the end of the day, I'd be asking strangers where I could get coke. I mean, it just goes hand in hand. I mean, back then, before that, in the 70s when I first started to use coke, it was like you have to know somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. Now, I bet if I walked around the block here, I could find somebody who could give me it.
You told me in 1985 that the reason why you went into rehab was you didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that you lasted as long as you did?
I believe in miracles. Every day. One time I was in New York and I got half a pint of codeine, liquid codeine, and I overdosed on that really bad, and I nearly went into respiratory arrest, you know. I mean, that happened to me all the time. I'm lucky to have my life, but I'm just as lucky to have a family. I mean, a point in question, I remember my son Jack. Mm-hmm. We had an argument one day, and I turned around to him and I said, Jack, what have you ever wanted? Whatever you wanted, I got for you. And he turned around to me and said, what about a father? And that hit me right between the eyes. It was like, wow.
So what was it, Ozzy, about the lifestyle? What is it about the rock and roll lifestyle for so many people that you lose yourself in that alternate reality, which really has nothing to do with reality at all?
You do first of all, I'm a drug addict, alcoholic. I mean, and it's like the most unnatural thing for me to do is to be sober, because I depend on chemicals to make me feel the way I want to think I want to feel. But then again, rock and roll is the only job that the more you turn up for your work loaded, the people are going to go. I mean, if you turn up here for doing it loaded, then you wouldn't last 5 minutes, you know, or any other job.
No. Yeah.
You know, if you were name any job, and you took the more I got crazy, the more my popularity was getting. But the downside of that, I had to live with me, and I would do something that's really stupid, like sleep around or whatever, and I was so guilty the next day, I would drink to get that guilt away and do the same thing again, you know.
Are you surprised that Sharon stayed with you for as long as she did?
Absolutely. I mean, she's my baby.
Because at one point you tried to kill your baby.
Yeah.
You were strangling her, and you ended up in jail the next day.
She tried to kill me more than once.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He was in an alcohol blackout. He tried to strangle his wife, ended up in jail today with not an idea of what happened. But
they've been through a lot together.
They have. But this is all recounted in this new autobiography. It's one of the more fascinating rock autobiographies I've ever read. And we're going to play a little more of that interview coming up in our next hour. You would not believe who his biggest musical idol is.
All right, I look forward to it.